everyone, it's Nick here with Nick's CD hard rock album review. The band we're going to look at today is Whitesnake. Now this is one of their later albums. This is their 10th album, their 10th studio album, and it was released in April 2008, and it's called Good to Be Bad. I'll just read the tracks. We've got Best Years, Can You Hear the Wind Blow, Call on Me, All I Want, All I Need, Good to Be Bad, All for Love, Summer Rain, Lay Down Your Love, A Fool in Love, Got What You Need, Till the End of Time. Yeah, so there we go. And yeah, they did release 3 singles. There's a picture of the band there. They did release 3 singles: Lay Down Your Love, All for Love, and Summer Rain. But I don't think I haven't read anything in regards to, in the charts or anything. So you got to remember this was released back in 2008. So yeah, music was a lot different back then. Now, as Whitesnake were obviously huge during the 80s, and they pretty much ruled the charts and MTV and all that. And it's great to see that they're still going. Like, it's a different band lineup, obviously, compared to the 80s, but the main man there, David Coverdale, the lead singer, he's been there since day one. As I said in my Whitesnake video, since I think it's the late 60s, very early 70s that Whitesnake started. So he's David Coverdale has been there, since day one. So he's been through a lot of decades with this band. Now with this album, as I said, released in 2008, it's just your standard hard rock, Whitesnake hard rock. It's got a bit of blues in it, a bit of the blues type sound in some of the songs. It doesn't really have that massive glam, hairband glam as it did back in the 80s. Obviously, they've grown up since then, but still a good album. It's still a good album, and we'll go through the band members there. It's a bit hard to see the band members, but on the far right there on the bass guitar is Uriah Duffy. Down the bottom there, just there, is the keyboardist, Timothy Drury. The guitarist up there on the sort of top left is Doug Aldridge. Then you got lead singer there, David Coverdale. Up the top there is Reb Beach, the other guitarist. Now Reb Beach, he actually used to play in the famous 80s hard rock hair band, glam band, Winger, which I did a video on. So yeah, he used to be in Winger. And down the bottom here on the drums is Chris Frazier. Now, in regards to the charts, I'll quickly go through them. The Austria Top 40 reached number 11, in Brazil number 36, Canada number 23, the Danish charts 18, Finland number 5, French charts 69, German charts number 6, the Irish charts number 95, Italy charts number 57, Norwegian charts 5, Scottish charts 6, in Europe the UK number 7, and reached number 62 on the US Billboard 200, and number 8 on the US top independent albums. Now there's varying numbers there now. That the Whitesnake are still regarded as a great rock band, and it's great to see that especially overseas, outside of America, obviously, that some of these countries still love this music, and that's just great to see, because music these days is, well, I think that it's pretty much non-existent, I think. I know people might have a go at me for saying that, but I've talked to a lot of people and we all think the same thing. Music has just changed dramatically now. It seems like people don't actually play actual instruments anymore. It's all done on keyboards it's all done on computers. Now, people can have a go at me if you want to, but gone are the days of a band actually going in and and actually playing instruments. I know bands still do it, but it's not like it used to be. So there you go. I'm having my bit of a whinge. It's just that music has changed. I know these bands are outdated and all that, but at least they play their own instruments. At least they go into a recording studio and play their own instruments. So I'll leave it on that note before I get too carried away and before I might upset someone. But yeah, music has changed a lot. But yeah, it's great to see that these countries that they still appreciate, your hard rock or your rock and roll. So my favourite tracks would have to be Call on Me. Now the guitars just have a beautiful sound on this album, this song Call on Me. Beautiful sound. I know some songs for me, they just take me to another place. Usually in the past when life was simple, but these guitars, the way they played off each other was it's mesmerising. Yeah, just mesmerising on this song Call on Me. Another favourite track, All for Love. Another nice little song called Summer Rain. It's a sort of nice little ballad, but it's a nice gentle song. Another song called Got What You Need. It's got a great guitar riff in it that runs throughout the song, and it's very reminiscent of Whitesnake back in the 80s. As I said before, in regards to this album, it's your hard rock bluesy album, and the musicians in this band are really professional. They really know what they're doing. As I said in the Whitesnake video, there's been a long list of musicians that have come and gone through Whitesnake band, but these guys have been in the band for quite a bit, if I remember rightly. They've been in it for quite a few years, so hopefully David Coverdale will keep them, and and they can do more fine work. In regards to David Coverdale, he sings in a more lower register these days. His singing voice is in a more lower register. Obviously, he's not the young man he used to be back in the day. But as I've always said, he has a fine voice. I love listening to David Coverdale. He's got that raspy voice and just a fine voice. A really good bluesy hard rock voice. So I've always loved Coverdale as a singer. So there we go. There's Whitesnake, their 10th album released in 2008. Now, out of a rating out of 10 for this album, I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. I do have another. Well, I've got 3 other Whitesnake albums, but the other one, which was released actually last year. Yeah, I got a Whitesnake album that was released last year, and I actually preferred that album over this album, but this is still a fine album, and the great thing that I love about it still shows Whitesnake still going to this day, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but these guys have been going around since, well, David Coverdale especially, been going around since the late 60s. I mean, you have to give congratulations to that. That is a long time. That is a massive long time. So, yeah, very a band that still strives to make music, and they still do, regardless of the musical trends and regardless of what's in and what's out music wise. So I go very high regard for these guys, very high regard, and just one great band. What else can you say? Whitesnake, a great band. So 7.5 out of 10. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do for my next CD.